There's a brand new book called The Flip by Sidney Potter, who's joining us on the phone line right now. Sidney, thanks so much for joining us.
Lou, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.
You were one of those guys that were flipping houses like there was no tomorrow and riding that wave and got caught.
Yeah, a big tsunami came in. I didn't even see it, unfortunately. That would probably be about the story. I hate to say it.
Yeah, and this was something that a lot of people were involved in. You were investing in real estate and doing quite well and kind of thinking that this thing was just going to keep going because there was a lot of inventory, there were a lot of people willing to buy, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out.
It was, and you know, the real unfortunate aspect is that even when your inner self, the little fellow on your shoulder, tells you maybe you should slow down a little bit, greed has a way of obscuring facts that are right there in front of you. So the best of us fall victim to that type of suspectability, and unfortunately that's what happened.
What did you, in your book, you talk about these experiences and more importantly, what you learned from it. Now, as someone that's been through this on both ends of it, a couple questions for you.
Yep.
One, do you think the real estate market is going to come back? And two, what is some advice you could give from your own experience to people that may be thinking about trying this?
Well, got news for you, Lou. The real estate market is back, but there's a little itty-bitty asterisk near there, and that's in select markets. This is a big plate that we live on in terms of the North America. 300 million folks. There's probably 300 MSAs. Those are metropolitan statistical areas. So it really is a market-by-market analysis. So it's back. You just don't hear about those Cinderella stories in the news because they typically don't make headlines. We like to crash and burn. And in terms of those folks that are thinking about buying, I would absolutely encourage it. You know, there's flippers like myself, but there's also cash flow buyers, which is a very ideal time, meaning property may not appreciate as much, but when you can get new product, including in Springfield, Illinois, to Detroit, Michigan, to Phoenix, Arizona, for anywhere for $50,000 to $60,000 for a new home builder from KB, Pulte, Syntex, D.R. Horton, you should probably go out there and buy. I would certainly encourage it.
But it seems like now, wouldn't you agree that you're going to have to maybe hold a little bit longer than you did in the past?
If you're looking for an appreciation trajectory, absolutely. And the beauty about hindsight, I hate to say it, although it cost me in my pocketbook, is that as I was working on the flip and wrapped it up about 2 years ago, there was a new formula that came about in terms of appreciation trajectory, meaning that you can't apply the old model of flips when we were having 25 to 35% annual appreciation, that you may have a little bit of a hold time in order to get that trajectory. So, in fact, there is a little bit of more hold time for those that truly like to flip properties, and that may be to the benefit. Just a quick note, I was out in Riverside, California, one of the areas that was hit the hardest, and KB Homes, for example, which they do a wonderful job, they have a new trademark called Build to Suite, and what that means is that they're almost acting as a custom home builder where it's taking anywhere from 9 to 18 months to build a home. That's the perfect exponential, or at least formula, in terms of flipping, to have a higher appreciation curve. You're not going to see the appreciation arcs that you saw before, but at least it gives the opportunity for some of these markets to have a long build-out and a ride appreciation wave if, in fact, it happens.
Mm-hmm. And the other big challenge now, of course, is that for many people, the lending has become much more rigid, and so the opportunities that were there for you probably in the early part of the millennium, and many people like you, it's become a little bit more stringent.
It has, and you've got some folks out there, myself almost included, that are are credit starved but cash full, meaning you've got cash to buy, even though it may be a small amount, but your credit, and certainly mine was, FICO score in particular, was hurt very badly. And as a result, the lenders aren't so eager to lend anymore. So all of this is part and parcel on getting access to capital. A lot of folks say, well, the subprime stated loans are gone. That's not true. Big country. We've got conventional lenders to hard money lenders, which I wouldn't encourage unless you had to go that direction. But they're out there. They're just very difficult to find. But if you can access the right capital and you've repaired your credit, you can't get in there with 0 to 5% any longer like I used to and others used to. It may take 15% to pony up in which to take down a non-investment, a non-owner-occupied home, an investment home, but it can still be done. It just requires a lot more homework, actually.
Well, if you're thinking about this, homework is the key and information is the key. Sidney Potter's new book is The Flip, the true life story of how a successful new Tract home investor went from zero to hero and back to zero. Fortunately or unfortunately, people can learn from your experience. Thanks so much for joining us, and good luck with the book.
Thanks a lot. Good luck as well. Take care.